Subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button. Click the bell button and enjoy the latest uploads from our channel.
Welcome to the world of the bulk carrier. It's a safe world, provided you follow clear rules. But a minority of people ignore these rules sometimes, and that is when accidents happen. Temptation number one is to go into prohibited areas when the ship is loading or unloading. Would you go? What happens when some of the cargo spills onto the deck and you're underneath it? Or if something like this happens? A fall from this height would in most cases be fatal. When part of the deck has been roped off, it's to stop people entering and working in prohibited areas, and you should always follow the rules on your ship about the wearing of hard hats. Even when you have permission to be in a restricted area, accidents can still happen through poor communication. Like here, if the loading operators don't know you're in the area when they decide to start work. Here's temptation number two, a quick cigarette break next to an access hatch. Would you accept the invitation?
Hey, what are you smoking here for?
He's right to be angry. Access hatches often contain methane. If the cargo is coal or chemical vapors, an explosion or fire could kill you and your shipmates. Temptation number three involves enclosed spaces. These crew members have followed correct procedures and obtained an entry permit. But supposing you had a colleague like this who entered an access hatch, but then slipped and fell. If there's an emergency, it's easy to forget your training and act on instinct. And nothing is more natural than to go to the help of someone in trouble. But in an uncleared enclosed space without the right breathing apparatus, this is the most dangerous thing you could possibly do. On bulk carriers, there are additional risks. Coal can create pockets of explosive methane or poisonous carbon monoxide. Grain cargoes can drain the air of oxygen. Chemical cargoes can create toxic vapors. The risk is that you will be poisoned or suffocate from lack of oxygen. If you decide not to go down, you're very wise. Never give in to the temptation to enter an enclosed space without backup, without first checking the atmosphere while wearing the right breathing equipment. On most occasions, you will also need a permit to work approved by an officer to confirm that the space has been checked and that you have the right equipment. One of the strongest temptations on a bulk carrier or any other kind of ship is to leave little cleaning up jobs to someone else. Who's going to clear this up? If you ignore a spillage or you don't bother to report it, it becomes an accident waiting to happen. How long does it take to clear away a minor spillage? 10 minutes? 20? However long it takes, it's much quicker than recovering from a broken or twisted ankle. Even a minor injury could result in your being taken off the ship. The fifth temptation is to work with a naked flame or with welding equipment without first getting authority from an officer who has made sure that the equipment and the location are safe and that you are wearing suitable protective clothing. Supposing you can see that a bit of extra welding is needed, would you be really happy to do it without checking with the chief mate first? It's usual to have a hot work permit stating that the area is suitable and the right precautions have been taken. What would you have done? Would you have checked with the chief mate first? The sixth temptation is to stop concentrating when opening the cargo hatches. If it's a job you've done many times before, it's easy to get bored. It's worse if you're tired. But this is a time when it's important to take extra care. In particular, you should make certain that no one is in the way of the hatch covers. If there's a lot of noise, they may not know what you're doing. Is he going to check that no one's in the way? Would you? Do your company rules call for an officer or other experienced person to be supervising the operation? You may have done the job safely 100 times, but it only takes one careless mistake to ruin someone's life, and your own. One simple check every time is all you need to be sure that you're working safely.
Hey, Bellman!
Yes?
I'm going to open up the hatch now, so you must do that later, okay?
Okay.
Come on now, quickly.
The final temptation is to cut corners on personal safety when working near dusty cargoes like coal or grain. It's essential to wear a mask. The concentrations of dust in these cargoes can irritate and damage the lungs. You may think that not wearing a mask doesn't matter if it's just the once, but just the once easily becomes a habit. It's not worth the risk to your health.
Can you breathe in? In. Out. Okay.
Most safety precautions mean spending a little time thinking or preparing before you get on with your job. Sometimes a few minutes, sometimes only a few seconds. These moments can be the most important time of your life. How long would it have taken to take the correct route around the deck away from danger? And how long does it take to fetch a hard hat? How long does it take to stop and ask yourself if it's dangerous to smoke? You should never smoke near access hatches, because there could be a build-up of flammable gases. Many shipping companies prohibit all smoking on deck.
There's open hatch.
How long does it take to get breathing apparatus? You should never enter an enclosed space without testing the air and obtaining a permit to work if required. On bulk carriers, you're especially at risk from cargoes like coal and grain. How many minutes to clear up spillage? Never leave it for someone to slip on. How long does it take to get a permit to work for a job involving welding equipment? It may take a while, but it could save your life. Remember that the possibility of flammable vapor is high on bulk carriers. How much time would it have taken to ensure that there was nobody in the way of the hatch cover? And was this really worth saving a few minutes? Ships themselves do not cause accidents or injury. People do, by ignoring obvious safety measures in order to save a little time. That is the greatest temptation of them all. Don't give in to it. Never be complacent. Always think about your safety and the safety of your fellow crew members.